Yeah, all right. So, having issues with the llama. The tail blades have always been out. And I usually use the right color tape, either red or yellow, to balance them out. And consequently, on the llama, the turbine heats up the tape, whatever color it is. It was red, then it was yellow, and then it was black. And it would just not stick after about 2 or 3 minutes of flight. You'd hear it go zip, and it would be done. So everybody's always said, "Oh, just use paint to balance it out." So this is what I'm trying this time. So I went through, and when I started this process, these two blades over here are lighter than this one for some reason. I think it's because I had two sets of blades. These are NHP blades. So you look at that, that's not bad. Well, when I started out, the blades were like this. So like, oh crap, I'm gonna need a bunch of paint on here. So I taped them all off, did all the good stuff, put on like 3, maybe 4 coats on just the red on this stripe and that stripe on both of them. And then this is what it's coming out to now. Now it's pretty close. But if I put my measuring stick on here like I do for all my other stuff, right now I am at about 67 on there. And this side over here is about 55, 57, somewhere in there. Just a little off. So I'm about 10 millimeters off. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna retape these two and shoot a couple more coats of paint on it, and we'll see how that goes. And I thought, let me just check and make sure that I am level on my spots, because usually it's level when I have these blocks way out here and out here to do main blades, but these are tail blades, so it's got to be a little bit more accurate. So if I'm looking on here, I'm slightly off, so this needs to come up about a paper towel width on that one. Let's go get some paper towels. All right, through a paper towel folded on itself, it's only 2 layers, and that gets me just about perfect. I don't think I can get any better. If I fuck with it, it'll get worse. So we're gonna go with that, and we'll see how far they are. All right, we're getting it out now. So now we're about, come on, focus, you POS. We're about 67. And this side over here is running at about 55. So I need roughly about 5 millimeters is what I need to get this thing perfectly level. So I need to have, about that much paint on it. Or we're gonna go paint and tape it off and paint again and see what we can do. All right, you can see from that photo, it was off. This one used to be the heaviest blade. And by the time I got this blade and that blade fixed, because I painted it a little too early and it crinkled. And you can't see it. Maybe you can see it in there. Maybe. Yeah, you can kind of see how it's kind of crinkled there? That's left over from me painting it a little too early. So I had to wait a couple days, then I repainted those 2 red stripes and the 2 red stripes on this one over here. And now they're too heavy. The heavy blade's sitting right there. So now what I'm having to do is, this was the heavy blade. So I'm putting 1 coat of paint on there. This was the lighter of the 2 light blades that are now heavier than this one. So this one I'm actually doing because I got to put paint on it. These 2 stripes that would be right here are only 12 hours old, and you need like 48 hours, 24 hours, something like that, before it'll crinkle. So you got to paint it after that. So I'm painting this stripe up here, which I didn't stripe. So I'm going to put 2 coats of paint on that one, 1 coat of paint on this one, seeing if this will now balance onto there. Ah, this is what I was afraid of, is trying to get this done before this weekend. And now I'm rushing, and I screwed it up already. So now I've got to play with it. So we'll see how those get painted off, and we'll see what the weights are on this set. All right, so this was the heavy blade. I put just one more coat, just as thin as I can get it with a rattle bomb can. And I put another coat on this one, but I need one more coat, I believe, on that one to make them all balance. So yeah, this is a total guessing game as to whether or not this is going to work. So yeah. So this is the one that I'm having to paint the stripe up here. So this will be the third coat on this spot. And I am just barely putting on paint. Just enough to kind of make it smooth. There, you can't see. Well, you can kind of see. That's smooth. So that's all I'm going to do on that blade. So like I said, now this one has 2 coats. This one has 3 coats. And that was the light blade and is now the heavy blade. So we got to wait for this to dry until probably tomorrow morning. I can unwrap them and see how they do against that. All right. So I had to say, fuck it. So now I don't know which one is heavy, because the heavyweight one changed. It went from the first one, like this one was the heaviest one, and those 2 are light. Then those 2 were heavier than this one, so I painted that one. And then these 2 got lighter than the one where I had to paint just that thing in there, and it turned out to be too heavy. That's kind of close. I'm not done with it, but I'm done with it for now, so that I can get this ready to go to Monster Fest this weekend. So it's close, but it's not perfect. But I can't paint any more spots because they all need time to dry. So this is on Friday, and this is, what, Tuesday night? So I've got to let this stuff dry and cure before I can move on and try to get it. But after this weekend, I'll have a lot more time to mess with it and hopefully get it down pat. It's amazing how heavy rattle bomb paint is when you're trying to balance something down to the gnat's ass. So, all right. We're getting out there. We're building. Yeah, kind of. We're painting.